Whoops. What's up, guys? NickDaGreek here today. I'm getting quite a few requests from a few people. They want to see my runes on Lucian and a few other monsters. I'm not going to make this solely on Lucian. Lucian is a 5-minute, not even a 2-minute thing. But we will be talking about... We'll do some arena. So, let's move on. What's this? Oh. What's going on over here? Well, I'll tell you guys what's going on over here. This is what happened when I moved. This account is on... This is my global account. Same name, same everything. When I moved my account to the Asia server, they left my name for me. So... all you gotta do to go back and forth is you click on this little button over here that says global next to my name and you choose. But anyways, that's besides the point. I'm thinking about starting some noob videos, like extremely noob videos to see what to do and free to play. I'd like everybody's opinion on that, see if they even want to see that or if they just want to see endgame material and hear it from me. So... and as of right now, it's kind of embarrassing. If you see some of my monsters, look. All right, this one is okay Rune, but look, I think resistance 1 star, defense. Like it's whatever I get, I put it on. You know, this I'm looking for a slot 2 Rune. I found it fatal, and I didn't notice that he already had a fatal set on him. This is okay, decently ruined, whatever. At this point, it's whatever you get. So. This is a subject that we're going to talk about. At any point, it's whatever you get. It's whatever the game gives you. You guys ever heard of the term? If you play your cards right, you're going to win. Or you got to play your cards right, whatever the term is. I'm not even 100% sure. I just know the term, you got to play your cards right. So, I'm going to give you guys an example of that soon. So, first things first, we're going to go... we're going to talk about damage dealers, and obviously Lucian is within the damage dealers of the whole thing, of the damage dealers. I keep saying, what's going on over here? How come it's taking so long to log in? You know, I'm curious to find out too. All right, there was a maintenance today. They said the game may not be available for 2 hours, and apparently they didn't do nothing. But whatever. Let's take a look at what's inside the shop. Okay, nothing, garbage. All right. So, we're going to talk about a couple of monsters here. We're not going to talk about just Lucian. Now, this is the last time we're going to talk about rune builds on Lucian, by the way. I'm doing this because I had a request for it, and that's it. So, let's go to Lucian. How to build Lucian. So, if you look at my Lucian, he's got... 12,600, 12,700 hit points, something like that. He's got 2,257 attack. Not a good defense. Speed sucks. His crit rate is not ideal. And his crit damage is at 190%. It can be a lot better. His runes aren't exactly the best of runes. They're good. They're not the best. So, see, this is a 5-star. The reason why it's on him is because it's got crit damage 11%. Not even because of the crit rate. It is because of the crit rate as well, but it's the crit damage. We have this one, 6-star attack percentage. Accuracy, crit damage, 4%. That sucks. This was actually a white rune, I think, when I got it. I just needed a 6-star rage in slot 2. Because apparently they're pretty rare for me. We've got crit rate on this one. This is the main reason why it's on there. I don't want to lose the crit rate. I probably have oh, I don't even have it. Okay. Then we've got crit damage, 80%. That's how you build a high DPS monsters with crit damage in slot 4. So you want attack in slot 2, attack in slot 6, and crit damage in slot 4. And we've got this one, 16% crit rate. It's not so bad. And then we've got this one. It's just because it's an attack rune. Oh, it's got crit damage. It didn't turn out that bad. But once again, I think this rune was a white rune too. So my Lucian's runes aren't that great. He just has the correct set. And another thing that helps my Lucian hit pretty hard is this building right here. The crit damage. I have the I have it upgraded to level 8. Crit damage at 20%. So it's worth it to work on these buildings over here. It's like having having an additional boost, you know. I usually work the way I do it the way I did it, and I'll do it again too. I think it's the best way for farming purposes. You upgrade this one, the Sanctum of Energy, and while you're upgrading that one, you do this one as well, the Mysterious Plant. The Mysterious Plant lets you recharge, 3% faster every single time. I think it's kind of worth it if you constantly play the game. And then I worked on my Speed Totem right after. My Speed Totem's at level 9. I don't have a crazy... I have 1 month that has a nice speed, but the 1% at the moment is not going to make a huge difference for me. I am planning on maxing this out though. Another one I have is the Crystal Altar. So don't just look at my stats because, and my Lucian has hidden stats that you don't see because his crit damage is actually at 210%. It's not 190. We're gonna pretty much go with attackers right now. For the moment, okay? Another monster, and I've already done a review on Beth. I'm gonna do it again. As you can see, Beth has a really nice set of Fatal Blade runes on her, okay? This one has 20% crit rate, 7% crit damage, this rune. This one too. This one wasn't white, but it didn't have the right substats. It's just that it's a 6-star attack percentage rune. That's why it's there. This one was not a white rune. Crit damage went up. I don't know if it went up once or twice. I'm not even sure. I think it went up twice, and hit point percentage went up once. Then this one, 80% crit damage. Defense went up. Whatever the case is, it doesn't matter. The 5% attack was a nice ending to it though. This one, 20% crit damage. She has almost as much crit damage as my Lucian. And she's on Fatal Blade. You know? So, my problem is her crit rate is really low. Anyway. So, let's go on to another attacker. Siegfried. My Sieg's runes are kind of embarrassing. They're not that great. Sieg is an attacker and a buffer. The reason why I have Sieg on Swift Blade is because I want him to buff before Lucian and before Beth. I use them on the same team sometimes. So, as you can see, this is a 5-star crit damage rune. This is a 5-star attack percentage rune. And this is a 6-star. This one I'm going to end up maxing out sooner or later. I haven't had to yet, but it's going to get maxed out. See this rune? The reason why I have this rune on Seek is not for the speed. Attack plus 15%. I liked that. This, you know what? It's not that great for Seek. It's got resistance 16% and crit rate 4%. I could switch it. Let's see if there's anything better. This one could turn out to be better. It's just got a crit rate stat though. This one is a hit point stat. It has hit points plus 14%. I don't need the speed on him. I'm saving this rune actually for something else. So, my 6 runes were just put together. He's just there to buff. And he hits hard no matter what as a 6-star. So, another attacker now. Alright. Bad example. I removed one of her runes to put it on Beth. But we'll go on. 5-star attack percentage rune. This is supposed to be crit damage. I wanted to save this rune. I have no idea who I'm going to put it on yet. If I'm going to even put it on. So, we'll see about that. And this is a 5-star attack percentage rune. I de-ruined her. I don't really use her too much anymore. So now, we're going to go to something else. This guy, I honestly believe he should be a Fatal Blade monster. Why? He only has 1 AoE. But his 3rd skill hits really, really hard. So, I would like to make him Fatal Blade sooner or later. Right now, the best runes I have for him are Despair runes. And I put him with all attack. He should have crit damage here because he buffs his own crit. But I really don't have too many Despair crit damage runes. But he is a really good monster to have Fatal Blade. Really, I should have this as Fatal as well. I mean, Blade as well. I don't know why. At the time, I was a noob when I ruined him. I don't use him too much anymore. Let's talk about Tyron. Or, you know what? Let's go to one of my Sigs. We'll go to this Sig, the violet one. I have 2 Sigmarus. I was fortunate enough to summon one of them, and then I summoned the other one. That was not being fortunate. Whatever the case is, it is. So, I have a 6-star attack percentage rune on him over here. 6-star crit damage rune. And this is a 5-star. Which, to be honest with you, I think I have a 6-star to put over there. I don't know where it is, though. I thought I had a 6-star for that slot. Maybe I just didn't want to ruin... Oh, you know why I put this one? This one I put it on because it's got crit damage plus 13%. So, in the long run, it'll turn out to be better for him. So, one thing you gotta know... One thing some people gotta look for with the crit damage monsters that you want to ruin, Blade Rage. Some monsters are easier to get their crit rate high. Why? Because when you awaken them, if you look over here, the first thing it says, increase critical rate by 15%. So Sigmarus should really be a Blade Rage monster. See, this one is Blade Rage. His runes aren't that great. I use this one more for farming. They actually both hit the same, to be honest with you. Look at this. He's got a hit point percentage. He's got a hit point percentage rune in slot 2. Crit damage 48%. His runes aren't really that great. Let's move on to Tyron. You gotta look at the monster's skills and figure out what you're gonna do. Tyron, he's more of what they call CC, crowd control. Okay? Why? He has 2 AoEs. One of them, it's not even a percentage of him freezing or not. He's just going to freeze. It can be resisted, though. This is why you need accuracy on Tyron. So, but that's besides the point again. Pretty much, Tyron is more of a support monster than he is anything else. He's crowd control, as we would call it. His leader skill, 19% attack speed for ally monsters. That's okay. It's not bad. There are better speed leader skills, such as the fire. In the arena though, is only the fire Valk and the dark Valk, 33% speed. That's the best speed leader ability in the game, and only the dark Valk and the fire Valk have it. Jameer, the Wind Dragon, has 24% everywhere for all ally monsters, which is good. It's not bad. I prefer Tyron because of the crowd control. So how do we ruin Tyron? He has 2 AoEs. Sometimes the freeze doesn't work. You end up stunning them instead of freezing them. So I put Despair Focus on him. Now, here's another thing. When you awaken... not when you awaken Tyron, because all the sylphs has this. Throws a small spirit at the enemy with a 30% chance to attack consecutively. This attack increases your critical rate by 30%. At next turn if you get a critical hit. So, the thing about Tyron is not only does he buff his own crit rate, but he he has a chance to attack consecutively, meaning he'll attack more than once, which is great. You know, I've had my Tyron attack up to 7 or 8 times. I actually killed not the first turn, but on the first round of Tyron attacking, just attacking, he killed a fire archangel in that exact turn. The fire archangel had full hit points. I think he got healed. I'm not even 100% sure what happened in that battle. All I remember is I saw him at pretty much 100% health, and he died. You know, so Tyron, since he buffs his own crit, I put crit damage in slot 4. I think that's the way to go with Tyron. 100%. I don't care what anybody says. Crit damage is the way to go. We have speed. We want him to go either first or second. Now, my Tyron used to have over 200 speed. The actual build for Tyron is to put accuracy in slot 6 if you can't get 100% accuracy. Now, I don't have the right accuracy rune that I want, but I really should put an accuracy. I really should put accuracy on him. There's one thing I forgot to mention about Lucian and why he is a Blade Rage monster. Again, we gotta look at the skills, guys. This third skill, okay? Throws a number of cards and inflicts damage to all enemies, ignoring their defense. Ignoring defense moves are huge. Huge. Pretty much, it's like the monster has no defense, and you do a lot of damage. Same thing with the Valk as well, her third skill. Attacks randomly. The enemy's defense is ignored when used in invincible state, meaning if you have Neil's shield or Chloe's shield on her, she will just ignore defense and hit really hard. She can hit really hard. I've had her hit me, one of my monsters, for like 20k a pop 3 times. That's over 60k damage. So you guys just gotta look at their skills and see. Usually the skill is the most important skill. Alright, sometimes you gotta work with the second skill as well, but the third skill is the most important skill. We'll move on to hit point monsters as well. Ramagos, for instance, okay? Attacks an enemy, inflicting the amount of HP you've lost as damage. You gain an extra turn if the enemy dies. Meaning, the more hit points he has, the more he loses, the harder you're gonna hit. For example, my Ramagos has 32,600 something health. Okay? If my Ramagos goes down to 1,000 health, he's going to hit you for 31,600 health. That's a big hit. You need hits like that in the arena. So you gotta do things like team synergy as well to build teams. It's not just about, oh, you know, I want to put 4 natural 5 stars and that's it. You know, that's the monster team. Yeah, you know what? There probably is a monster team with 4 natural 5 stars. I can't think of one at the moment, but the whole point of the game is to make teams that can work together. Like today, somebody asked me, who should I 6-star next? One of their options was Seek, and I told them they should 6-star Seek for the buff, because they use the Wind Pioneer and they use Lucian a lot. And they were like, I don't want a 6-star Seek because he's a 2-star monster. Why would I 6-star 2-star monster? You know what? Ramagos is a 2-star monster. The Wind Pixie is a 2-star monster. And Seek is a 2-star monster. I don't regret 6-starring any of them at all. Not at all. Another hit point monster to look for. Again, you gotta look at the third skill. Mine, his runes aren't maxed out. I don't think they're all 6-star anyway. This is 6-star. This is 5-star. This slot for Despair has been eluding me forever, by the way. Then we have this as a 6-star. Okay. His third skill. Drains life from a targeted enemy. The stolen hit points is equivalent to 30% of your max hit points. So, if he has 30,000 hit points, he's going to hit you for 9,000. Exactly. That's exactly the number. He's going to hit you for 9,000 and he's going to heal himself for 9,000 hit points. Great skill. This skill just got a buffed. It's based off of his hit points. Inflicts damage proportionate to your hit points to all enemies and weakens attack power for 2 turns with a 75% chance on each target. That's great. This skill just got a buff. It's a nice skill. The fact that it weakens attack power is great. You max it out, it's 100% chance. So we move on. A great bursting monster is this one too. I don't have good runes for him. I wish I did. I have 1 6-star and 2 5-star. I need 6-star runes for him at this point. And he doesn't ignore defense, so he really needs 6-star runes. He needs a nice amount of runes. Why? Again, we're going to look at the third skill. The third skill is a passive. Increases your attack power by 100% when your hit points is higher than 50%. So he already has attacks with a 30% critical rate bonus and stuns the enemy if the attack lands as a critical hit. So one of the reasons why I put Vamp Runes on him, and you need really good Vamp Runes to do it, but one of the reasons why I put Vamp Runes on him is because I'd like for him to have his hit points above 50%. He doesn't have high hit points, so, and if he hits hard, he'll probably be getting most of his hit points back. You know, if he does like a 15k hit, he's gonna get, what is it, 30% with Vamp Runes? I forgot. 35% life gen. So if he hits for 10k, he's getting 3,500 hit points back. That's a little over a quarter of his hit points. It's like 26 or 27%, whatever it is. So he's actually pretty good. I just wish I had the right runes for him. Then we got some Lure. Lure is another support monster, pure support. I have him with over 200 speed. This is probably one of the greatest skills out there. Attacks all enemies, decreasing their attack bars by 50% each and weakening their defense for 2 turns. Do you know what that is? Basically, you're not slowing down the enemy, but you're reducing their attack bar and you're weakening their defense. So it's just a complete, if this effect going on everybody, it's just a complete clusterfuck for the opposing team. My suggestion for this monster is Swift Focus. I have over 200 speed, but I have the spare focus. I have an added effect. The reason why I say Swift Focus is because I believe that he should go either first or second on your team. You need him to go either first or second. So, point being is, if you can't get him over 200 speed with the spare runes, I think you should do Swift. The Fire Vampire. Now, 100% crit rate. Why? Because his passive, again, third skill, your critical hits increase the attack bars of all allies by 20%. Now, people disagree with me on this, okay? I have Swift Blade. Other people tell me that's the classic build. Okay, I just want my Vamp to go fast. I don't want to depend on Violent Runes. I have a second Vamp. I might give him Violent Revenge. I don't know yet. But we'll see about that. Like, I am going to build a second Vamp. I don't know when. It's not happening anytime soon. A Speed Monster. Kua. He was a great monster. She's a great PvE. She's good in the arena as well. I used to use her a lot, but she's great. Amazing for PvE. PvE being Dungeons, Trial of Ascension. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Slot 2, Speed. Always Speed. Okay. This rune is a 5-star only. Fine. I put it on because of accuracy and crit rate. And crit damage. I thought it was a nice rune for her. Slot 2, Speed. This one, I have it as hit points because I mainly use her in dungeons. So it's really for farming purposes. I might change it to attack. I don't know yet. Now, why do we have her with speed? Attacks the enemy with a whip, decreasing the enemy's attack speed for 2 turns with a 50% chance. The damage increases according to attack speed. This is why we want Hiwa fast. Her damage is based on speed. Attacks with a burning and inflicts continuous damage for 3 turns. This skill in particular is based on attack. It's not based on speed. Don't get it going a little crazy. Don't get it twisted. Then we have the skill decreases the enemy's attack bar by 25% and strikes again with a 20% chance. Automatic effect. Passive. So basically she has a chance, if she hits you twice, she has a chance of reducing your attack bar by 50%, which is great. Now, having attack still works for this skill somewhat. Why? I'll tell you why. Attack, there are different things going on in the game. There's always a different factor. There's always something different going on. Alright? Attack goes against defense. So, pretty much, the more attack you have, the more it's going to go against the defense. And then the speed just adds to the effect. It makes you hit harder. Attack isn't necessarily going to make her first skill hit harder, but it's going to go against the defense, so it's going to help against their defense. I'm not 100%... I hope everybody got that part, because I don't know any other way on how to explain it. Another monster to look at. You guys also got to look at a few things, too, when you awaken them as well. First, we're going to look at the awakening. Increases attack speed by 15. Okay? So maybe she might be meant to be swift, which she is. Skill. Fanatic. All allies are invincible for 1 turn and gain immunity for 2 turns. This is why you want Chloe to be one of your fastest monsters. I'm not saying the fastest, but one of your fastest monsters. Then the heal is alright. It's a pretty decent heal. It's not so bad. And this is whatever. So, she has a base speed of 111. Mine has 229 speed. So, you guys gotta look at some of these things. Now, listen to this. And I've thought about this, and correct me if I'm wrong, okay? Increases attack speed by 15. I've thought about making Brienne swift. Swift focus. Why? Because he has a really high base speed. It's like a guarantee for him to go, pretty much, almost. You know, you can get this monster above 200 speed very easily. You know, if you get him at 250 speed, he's gonna be going 3 times to some other people's monsters going once. So some monsters you just gotta think about it for yourself. He has a revive. That's pretty much why people like him. Revives a dead ally and evens out the hit point ratio of all allies. Guys, you got to be careful with this skill. I didn't want to build him for a long time. I sat on Brienne for a while. I didn't build him for a while because of that 3rd skill. The resupply, it can also screw you in a fight. Pretty much, let's say Brienne is the last one standing, and he has 25% of his health. If he revives anybody, they both have 12.5% of their own health. So it's not that great. One of the reasons why I did build him, though, is because I have Praha. Praha recovers the hit points of ally monsters by 50% by putting yourself to sleep for 1 turn. That's a super heal, you know? And the heal is actually 60% because she gets 10% and 10%. You know? A lot of people are going to disagree with me on this build. This build, I got it from another YouTuber. The reason why I did this was because it worked pretty well. She solos the giant. I'm sorry, the dragon B10. She can solo the whole thing by herself. I don't do it because it's slower that way, but she can solo the whole thing by herself. This isn't 6-star either. Defense, it has to hit points, defense. So the build is focus, energy, and endure. Pretty much to raise your resistance, to raise your accuracy, and raise your hit points. That's the whole point, so she can fight that dragon off. This is a horrible Horrible example of a Beretta. My Beretta, I don't like him. I have to re-ruin him. I'm going to start doing TOA hard. Attack. 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 This shouldn't be the build. Speed. Hit point. Hit point. Or accuracy. I'm sorry, accuracy. Why? Because I need the dots as well. Summons a phoenix to breathe fire on all enemies and inflicts 2 continuous damage for 3 turns. I pretty much need the dots. Take out high hit point monsters faster instead of relying on pure attack. You're relying on dots. Every dot that you put, dot by the way is damage over time. Every dot that you put for every turn, it's 5% of their health. So if you put 10 dots for 2 turns, on the first turn they're losing 50% of their hit points. On the second turn they're losing 50% of their hit points. That's how it works. Who else do we have here? You know, I'm gonna have to explain this in a nice way. Take a look at a Cassis. Take a look at a Cassis. She's a support I'm sorry, not speed, attack. She's a support monster. Look at her base attack, 878. What kind of a support monster is that? Well, guess what? She is a support monster, but she has a very high base attack. Speed, attack, attack. Why? Because of that high base attack. She has a higher base attack than most 5-star monsters. And I'll give you a good example. See the before attack. Look at Lucian. Lucian's a natural 4-star. Yeah, he's not a normal natural 4-star, but he's a natural 4-star. 900 attack. 834, fine. So we're gonna look at monsters that I don't. By the way, we're gonna take a look at this occult girl. She's a natural 5-star. There we go. 845 base attack. A Cassis has more base attack. The way you could tell on who has a really high base attack, I do it as a rule of thumb like this. Lucian maxes out at 900 base attack, okay? You see him as a 5-star, he's attack 662 as a 5-star. Look at Julian, 694. He has a very high base attack. I haven't 6-starred him yet. I haven't had the chance to. When I get the right runes, I probably will. Julian's attack, I believe, his base goes up to 944. That's huge. That's a mean hitter right there. Another one, but I don't suggest is Sophia. I don't suggest 6-starring her though. She's not really all that useful later on. But she hits like a truck. So does Orang. Orang 694. 694. Oh, you know what? I'm so mistake. 662. This is the same as Lucian 900. There we go. Orang was the one. She hits like a truck as a 6-star. Again, she's kind of useless though later on as a 6-star. When you get into endgame. So, another monster we're going to talk about. This is an ignored defense skill.